Anthony Santander, the guy who has been with us through the bad times, made it out, and has been one of the most pivotal hitters in the Orioles lineup over the last several seasons. Is he worthy of a contract extension, or is it time for the Orioles to kind of cut bait and trade him at the deadline? Let's really dive in to see who Anthony is. Do the Orioles have room, or can this guy help us go win a World Series? Anthony Santander has a career WAR of 9.2, which sounds pretty decent, but some of his comparables here on Baseball Reference are Brian Buxton, and Buxton owns a 21.5 WAR, and then Mitch Haniger is a 14.3 WAR. So both of those players are considered better across the board when it comes to wins above replacement. They're all very comparable when it comes to average, home runs, RBIs, stuff like that. Obviously, Buxton takes the cake when it comes to stolen bases. But that's the kind of player that you're looking at. Now, Brian Buxton, like I said, lots of speed here, signed a 7-year, $100 million deal with the Twins. Is that something that Oriole fans they're content with giving Anthony Santander? When we look at Mitch Haniger's recent contract, he's got a 2-year, $28 million deal, which is roughly what Santander's making right now in arbitration, that $14 to $15 million range. I don't know what kind of contract we could give Anthony that would be good for the ball club, yet not overpaying him. But I'm on the fence of, I think Kjerstad would provide the same type of offense. And I'm not a biggest fan in the world of Anthony's defense. We're looking at a guy with a 246 average, hitting 123 home runs in his lifetime for the Orioles. He's also driven in 368 runs, 8 stolen bases, and an on-base percentage of .307. Now, Anthony's got 186 walks to 558 strikeouts, so he's a little susceptible to the strikeout here. But some things that concern me with Anthony. His stats in April and March, terrible. He's a .213 hitter in his career. We always know that he starts off slow. But that's fine, right? So he's a .263 hitter in May, a .252 hitter in June, a .271 hitter in July, .276 hitter in August, right? Sounds like it's really getting good. He's a .200 hitter in September and October. So what that tells me is Anthony relies on the long ball to be able to drive the ball. He relies on warm weather to be able to drive the ball. April, March, September, October, it's cold, right? It's colder more times than it's warmer. And to see his stats drop off that bad concerns me, right? If this team wants to make a deep run in the postseason, you got to have one of your middle of the lineup guys is where he consistently hits, between 3, 4, 5, and 6. That type of player has got to hit when it matters. And when does it matter? It matters when it's cold. Take that with what you will. Now let's get into some good things about Anthony, right? So 2 outs, runners in scoring position. He's a very good hitter. He's a .252 hitter with 30 home runs. Another thing I love about Anthony, when it's a tie ball game, his average skyrockets up to .296. So one thing I will point out, right? So late in the game, considered late and close. And late and close on Baseball Reference is an appearance in the 7th inning or later, either a tie ball game, ahead by 1, or down by 1. Tony only has a .202 average. In that .202 average, he also has 93 strikeouts to 33 walks and 18 home runs, 62 RBIs. So to me, it sounds like potentially there's some times where he does press a little bit. A little bit of the negative here on Tony. So his career against the New York Yankees, he's a .207 hitter, right? One of the best teams that's in the East all the time. You kind of want the middle of your lineup to produce against a team like that. Now, the flip side, Boston Red Sox, Tony's a .307 hitter. Now, we've known Boston's always had good pitching, so I don't know what the difference between New York and Boston is. Both teams have outstanding pitching. He's about average when it comes to hitting the Blue Jays. He's .254, and Tampa's the same way, .242. So he hits good against the East. First things I want to touch on is how many base runners advance when a ball is hit to Anthony. Major league average is a hold percentage, so a runner not advancing when a ball is hit to somebody, is 46%. Anthony's had 512 opportunities, and his hold percentage is 42. So he's below major league average when it comes to holding a runner. We'll say like a runner on first and a ground ball hit to him or a line drive hit to him. More than 50% of the time, that runner's going first to third. The total throwouts in his career, he has 8 total putouts in his career. The major league average is 2%. Anthony's at 1.6%. So he's throwing out guys less than everyone else in baseball. So Tony's reaction time, again, according to Baseball Savant, is negative 0.9%. So he's below the major league average in reaction time. His burst is negative 0.6, again, below the major league average. His route is a 0.7, so he takes good routes to the ball, which is why we see some of the great plays that he makes. He's 0.7, so he's above major league average. He's in the top third of major league average in route. But now that we know that he's below average in most of these categories for advanced analytics, do you think the Orioles would benefit not playing him in the outfield every day? Again, and what I'm getting to is, do you think the Orioles benefit from trading Anthony Santander and getting some kind of pitching prospect back, or whatever they can get back for him? Granted, like I said, he's a free agent at the end of this year. Nobody's really sure what his value is. Is he a full-time DH? We know he's a below average fielder. He's a career 245, 250-ish hitter who's going to hit you 25 to 30 home runs a year. What Anthony is, I feel like personally, puts the Orioles in a bind. You may disagree, and that's completely fine, because like I said, he's a guy that's always been there for the O's. He's made it through, and he's delivered that big hit when it mattered. I feel like they could just get better defensively if they moved on. Again, you guys let me know. Is this a guy that we want to extend? Because of what he's done for in the past, gotten the Orioles out of those dark 8 years, some of the big hits that he's had up in his career, against the AL East and whatnot. Is he deserving of a short contract? Is he deserving of a long contract? Or is he a guy that we just need to kind of suck it up and say, thank you for everything. The tables have turned here. We're going to go in a different direction, and I wish you the best of luck. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys feel about Tony Taters, and I'll catch you on the next one.